Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the SWUS. Got a Christmas Eve bowl game here. It's the Hawaii Bowl. South Florida versus San Jose State. Let's do it. Welcome to the SWUS. Hey, get the SWUS. All right, like I said, South Florida, San Jose State. This one is out in Honolulu. San Jose State is now laying 3. It was at 2.5. Now it's at 3. Total sitting at 63 or 63.5, depending on your sports book. So let's get into this matchup, and we'll start with the South Florida offense against the San Jose State defense. According to FEI ratings, we're looking at the 98th rated offense against the 74th rated defense. So according to this graphic, San Jose State should have the slight edge here defensively. As I'm sure you know, South Florida lost Byron Brown, their quarterback, back in September. Bryce Archie has been starting at quarterback since then. I mean, he had a couple really nice-looking games in there. He also had a few really terrible games on the season. 6.5 yards per attempt, 9 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. You can see here, weeks 12 and 13, when Bryce Archie saw some lesser defenses, he did play well. I mean, over 266 passing yards per game, over 52% success rate per dropback, 8.9 yards per attempt. So it's not like this kid can't throw the ball. He did have a couple really nice-looking games in there, but there's also been times this year when we've seen him really struggle. And this San Jose State pass defense has actually been really solid down the stretch. In their last 5 games, just 7.4 yards per attempt, 41% success rate per dropback, very average-looking numbers, and that's against Fresno State. Mikey Keene, he can throw it. Oregon State, more of a rushing offense. Boise State, rushing offense, but still, it's a high-powered offense. UNLV, with Malik Williams, Stanford. So it's not like they played easy competition. The San Jose State defense against the pass is actually pretty good. They also live in zone coverage. They're 3rd in the country in zone coverage frequency. That's bad news for South Florida because their passing numbers against zone this year are terrible. They've got much better numbers against man coverage. So on paper, this should be a really tough matchup for South Florida. They should struggle to throw the ball. That being said, San Jose State's going to be without their top 2 corners. Their top 2 corners, CB1 and CB2, both in the transfer portal. I'm pretty sure neither are playing in this game. So on one hand, you've got Bryce Archie, who's really struggled against tough defenses, who struggles against zone coverage, against San Jose State, who is a tough defense, who runs a lot of zone coverage. On the other hand, how can you trust the pass defense missing their top 2 corners? And on top of that, Byron Brown, I'm reading, might even play in this game. So South Florida might be getting their quarterback back that they haven't had since September. Really tough to make a prediction considering we have no idea what we're going to see here. Now, how about the rushing attack? Will South Florida be able to run the ball? And San Jose State, we got to give the defense some credit. They've actually been tough against the run, too. In their last 6 games, just 3.59 yards per carry allowed. Success rate per rush under 40%. And, I mean, you've got UNLV in there, Boise State with Ashton Genty. Oregon State can definitely run the ball, Stanford. So they've played some tough competition, and they're holding their own against the run. So it should be a tough matchup for South Florida trying to run the ball as well. The thing is with South Florida, the rushing attack, look at these data points. What the hell do we do with this information here? In weeks 11 and 14, they were held to 85.5 rushing yards per game, 3.11 yards per carry, success rate per rush under 26%. Absolutely terrible rushing numbers in week 11 and 14. The 2 games in between those 2 games, weeks 12 and 13, they averaged over 366 rushing yards per game, 7.3 yards per carry. Man, what? We got 2 data points all the way up here, two data points all the way down here in their last 4 games. Welcome to bowl season, man. Tough to make predictions here. The battle on the line of scrimmage should be a tough one for South Florida. San Jose State's 35th in line yards, 30th in stuff rate. Should be tough for USF to generate push in this one. But like I said before, if Byron Brown ends up playing in this game, and I truly don't know. I read an article saying that there's a chance he plays. If he plays, he's miles more mobile than Bryce Archie. So he gives this South Florida rushing attack another angle. And I think South Florida might be able to run the ball in San Jose State if Byron Brown plays, which puts us in a really tough spot as far as making a prediction. If Byron Brown plays, I do think USF can move the ball on San Jose State, but I truly have no idea if he's going to play. Now, on the other side of the ball, we got San Jose State's offense, and this offense throws the ball more than any other offense in college football. They're 1st in passing frequency, and when you look at this graphic here, South Florida's numbers against the pass, 117th in yards per pass attempt allowed, 65th in success rate per dropback, 102nd in effective pass. So you might say, oh, wow, perfect matchup for San Jose State. They should throw the ball all over South Florida. But here's the thing with South Florida's defense. Look how crazy this is. So in weeks 3 through 5, they couldn't stop anybody through the air, and that includes Southern Miss. Southern Miss, Miami, and Tulane, they allowed 377 passing yards per game, over 12.7 yards per attempt, over 55% success rate per dropback. In weeks 3 through 5, they could not stop the pass at all. Then in the 6 games after that, weeks 7 through 13, they were actually playing great defense against the pass. 244 passing yards allowed per game, success rate per dropback under 32%, under 6.5 yards per pass attempt. So for a huge stretch of the season, they were playing excellent defense against the pass. And then we get to the final game of the year, and South Florida gives up 430 passing yards to Rice. 10.2 yards per attempt, success rate close to 48%. Man, what am I supposed to do with that data? So they started the season off, they're terrible against the pass. Then for a majority of the season, 6 games in a row, they're playing great defense against the pass. Then they finish up the season getting lit up through the air by Rice. Welcome to bowl season, man. So you might be thinking, well, South Florida just got lit up by Rice. San Jose State's passing attack, they're definitely going to throw the ball on South Florida. Well, hold on, because Nick Nash is opting out of this game, who's by far their best receiving weapons. He leads the team in receptions, yards, and touchdowns by a mile. 104 catches, over almost 1,400 receiving yards this year, 16 receiving touchdowns. Like I said, leads the team by far. So how can we trust this pass-first offense? All they do is throw the ball without by far their most important weapon. I don't know. I really don't know. I would lean towards South Florida. The market's moving the line the other way. Was at 2.5, now it's at 3, and now I'm seeing 3.5s. I'm just going to wait. If I can get a South Florida +4, I'll play it, but it's bowl season. As I'm sure you know, shit's really hard to predict. So I like South Florida. I'll wait, see if I can get a better number. It'll be South Florida +3.5, +4 for me. Live show, 4 p.m. Eastern time. If you're able to make it, would love to see you in the comments. Hit me up in the Discord. If you need me, be sure to bet responsibly. Talk to you later.